All right, eighth graders, here's a little bit of a breakdown on what we're looking for in terms of the Google form feedback that we're trying to collect from our projects. So whatever kind of project you are completing, we're going to have you attach a Google form to it so that anybody who sees it, encounters it, engages with it in any way, shape, or form is able to provide you some feedback on its quality and how it appealed to them and how it reached them. One quick note, when I say engagement, I'm not talking about somebody getting married. I'm talking about the level of focus and the level of reaction that somebody had to your project. And so, if I'm very engaged with something, it means I'm totally a part of it. I'm paying attention. I'm focusing. I'm wanting to get something out of it, and I might even go and try to do something, take an action step as a result of being engaged to these projects. So 4 quick components that we want them to include. Your Google form should be anonymous. So you should not be collecting any sort of names or other information, email addresses even. We want this to be anonymous. Typically, if something is anonymous, you get better feedback because people aren't worried about you seeing whose feedback it is. They're not worried about kind of being outed. They're not worried about being exposed. And so if it's anonymous, you'll get more clear feedback and more honest feedback. You want feedback on 2 things primarily. That would be the quality of the project and the engagement with the project. So in terms of the quality of the project, you want people to let you know, was it hard to read? Was it hard to understand? Were there questions that they had as a result? If those things are the case, then there may be a lack of quality that you need to go back and revise. Is there anything else when it comes to your project that people are uncomfortable with or confused or concerned about? That would be the quality of the project. And then, like I said, feedback on the engagement with the project. Ask people, did they go and do something after seeing your project? Did they think differently, spend their money differently? Did they talk differently? What kind of reaction do you want them to have? And try to figure out if your project actually created that kind of reaction with your audience. And the last thing is you should attach it to your project in the form of a tiny URL. And so I'm going to talk about how you can do that here. So the first step, you need to make a Google form. That's one of your options when you go into Google Drive. You can click Google Forms. One will pop up just like this. You can change the title of the form, which I highly recommend. That title can also be modified up here in the top left corner. And then you can ask your questions down below. To add more questions, you click the plus button. You can change the kind of question that it is. Either multiple choice, short answer, or paragraph would probably be the 3 that you want them to respond to. Give the title of the question, and then make sure it's a required question. Click that box there. I would recommend not having more than 3 or 4 questions. People don't usually respond if it's too long. So make it very short so people are more likely to actually respond to your survey or to your feedback. You can change the theme of it if you want to. Don't spend too much time on that because it's not super important, but you can change the header images and things like that. If you go into settings, that's where you'll be able to modify and say collect email addresses. But like I said, we're not going to be doing that one. Do restrict it to Lewis Central users. If you'd like to limit it to 1 response per person, that's fine as well. That really should be the only things you need to modify when it comes to settings. Once you actually publish your form, you'll be able to go in and see the results from it in a spreadsheet format. So this will be the main area where you'll see those responses. There are 2 tabs, questions or responses, and then you'll be able to create a spreadsheet by clicking this button here. That spreadsheet will be where you'll be able to share with your group and see in one place all the responses that you've gotten on your feedback form. Now you'll notice up here at the top, there's a real long URL. If I'm going to send this out, I'm going to send it either via email or via a link. And yeah, that link is really long. And so we can click this button here and shorten it. That's pretty handy. So it's already much, much shorter than it was. And actually, I wasn't even thinking about the fact that you could do that on Google Forms. So that's a pretty good option for you. But I'm going to take it actually one step more. So I'm going to copy and paste this link by hitting copy. And I'm going to go to tinyurl.com. I'm going to enter in my long URL there. And then I'm just going to click Make Tiny URL. If you want, you can try to add in a custom address here. If you want to maybe say something like environmental project survey, you can try that. It might already be taken, but you can give it a shot. So I'm going to click Make Tiny URL, and it'll shorten that down a lot more so that I can actually put it on my project. It was shortened to this here, and that's really about the same length as the one that I had here. So either way, it's up to you how you want to handle shortening that URL. But that way you can put it on a poster, you can put it on a picture, and you'll actually be able to get people to type that in. If it's something digital, you'll want to make sure it's a hyperlink so that people can click on that hyperlink. If you need help with that, you can ask your teacher. If you have any more questions, let your teachers know. But everybody should have a Google form on their project, attached to their project, to see what people's engagement is with your project.